was doing that. After that, at the 6 p.m. I had a call, and then I'm here at 6:30. So yeah, but I really enjoy speaking. Like I could say the stress buster for me is speaking.
Yeah. Which means
So,
you're passionate about it. You need to continue. And did you host any courses on EDX or somewhere?
no, I didn't.
You have to start doing that, yeah. Because that is a passive way where we can generate monetize our talent also. I'm exploring that in my own domain, like Lean Six
Yeah.
Sigma and all. Recently I started building the content, but yeah, I want to do it at least in next 1 or 2 months. I will launch single course at least.
The point is that I am current, like my profile that I have, like on which I joined, was technical trainer.
Hmm.
So currently I don't want to like go on to against terms with the company. Like, so I'm not
Hmm.
doing. Apart from
Okay.
that, like I am teaching AI to the Amity school people. Like every Saturday,
Hmm.
I'm teaching for 2 hours. Apart from that, like from last month, like till the last month, I was teaching Python to two college students.
Hmm.
So that teaching I am doing, and I am really enjoying that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Apart from that, like if you can see, if you have seen that we have started with this virtual conferences for
Hmm.
students.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with
Hmm.
yeah, so that is one that I and my colleague we have organized that big conference, like, and we'll be organizing on another one on next Friday, the coming Friday.
See, why don't you use my brand, yeah? TGV. You can do this co-branding. No, you say official podcast partner TGV करके रख दो एक. And I will also
Arre,
I'll also promote about your conference in the upcoming episode.
I can definitely do that, but
No, I'm serious. I'm serious
I
actually.
am
Like
serious
this is
also.
yeah.
I am serious
Hmm.
also. But
Hmm.
the only
Hmm.
thing that is like I can do many things. I have many idea. My colleague, but there are some things that we need. Like there is one person, Stephen Simon. You may have
Hmm.
seen
Yeah.
that. So he takes that decision of collaborating or something.
See, you
So
tell him like only thing is this is my friend who is running this podcast. It is also meant for techies and professional students and entrepreneurs. Like and you can do one interview like with that guy Stephen Steinman or whoever it is. I will do an interview and we will air that during that time only. Okay.
yeah, definitely
Plan
I will
plan
talk that.
something. Okay, plan
Yeah,
something there.
definitely.
Podcast
Because
partner the guiding voice करके रख दो एक. And I will also do one. I can do shout out on Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. I'll do shout out.
yeah, definitely I will just talk with it.
No, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but like things like since Shisha Corner is a global community, so he has his own, you can say, mindset that yes, Shisha Corner is so big, and so yeah, many times we also struggle, like many
No,
times
no,
we
I
need to collab.
understand, but this is not something which is purely out of your domain, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Ours is a
definitely.
tech podcast,
Yeah,
right? So
definitely.
therein, and you can tell him like this was launched 1 year ago, and already 106 episodes are launched, right? That itself is a testimony for our commitment
Yeah,
and all.
definitely. Yeah,
And
yeah, I
we
will.
are not going to charge anything for this co-branding and all.
Yeah,
Seriously, I'm not
definitely,
going to
definitely.
charge
No, no,
anything.
no, no, no. I
Hmm.
will. We'll just talk with that Stephen Simon and
Yeah,
then
tell
get
him.
back to you.
And if you want, I can send official mail from the guiding voice also.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
I can send that. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
definitely we can do.
yeah, I don't know why there is almost low attendance today.
I think
Shika,
there's a message on group. Shikha said something like
come on,
event.
guys. I already gave in the morning, right? And they don't see this. Copy.
They are looking at calendar invite. I think. Okay.
Hey, Shika. I think she's not connected to audio yet.
Now, yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Shika.
Hi,
How are
good evening.
you?
Good, thank you. Your meeting invite doesn't have a link.
No, I sent it in the group, no?
I figured it out just now. Yep.
Okay, let me update the invite also.
Yes, please, because uh,
Yeah,
people
many
must be
others might
sanctioned
be.
there.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
Because I've added everybody to this group. I thought
Mm.
Somebody like me prefers to join from laptop, so I always look at my email.
Hmm.
Very tedious to hold the phone and sit and do. No risk taking in the month.
You're already talking the topic. Good.
Yeah, you could install WhatsApp desktop on your PC, and then like I'm doing the same thing.
What's that?
But in my scenario, right, I'm a part of a lot of leadership meetings.
Oh, okay,
You're on
okay.
screen sharing, right? It becomes very annoying, even if you switch off notifications.
Mm.
I mean, people at the leadership team seeing, there is a WhatsApp window open on your screen and stuff like that. So I generally don't do that. Otherwise, yes, it's very convenient, like you rightly
Yeah.
said.
But
So
corporations don't allow, no? Like my organization doesn't allow. It
yeah, that is
just
also
gets filtered. Mm.
Yes, yes.
one more thing.
I
Like
still remember, I think when I was with Wipro, they had blocked Facebook also for a couple of months or something like that.
okay.
Gmail and stuff like that. You're not supposed to be
Hmm.
browsing. Yeah.
So like since when I am taking classes, what I do is that I keep WhatsApp open because I know I will not be going to the my WhatsApp phone. So what I do is that I create two desktop on the same laptop. So it's called a virtual desktop, and move my WhatsApp to that. So I will get the notification as well, and when I'm sharing the screen, nobody sees that I'm opening a WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's my mental makeup. I get very jittery. I don't want any of these stuff open on my office machine.
Yeah.
Even if I have to browse something, I do it on my phone, not on the office laptop. You never know, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't
Some
tell.
window
Yeah,
you
you
forget
can't
to
tell.
close. You're reading about something, and then it gets very embarrassing. How
Yeah.
have you guys been? Otherwise, all good?
Yeah. Okay.
So far, so good. Without vaccination.
True, true.
See, we are all taking risk.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
I was in the same boat as you, but I think 2 weeks back, my own apartment had a drive, so I was pushed
Oh,
by my family to go and get the first shot done. So yeah.
how did you guys
My
manage that? Like, did they directly talk to health officials and or do you have someone
In my
influential?
apartment in Naveen, there are 2, 3 doctors.
Hmm.
So they took help of those doctors, some approach, some source to get a sooner slot from the hospital.
Hmm.
Otherwise, the hospital had said we'll do this drive sometime in the first week of June.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it happened, I think, yeah, 2 weeks back. So yeah.
our company is doing it for the employees. Bangalore, they have started.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hyderabad, waiting. They said first Monday, but then now they pushed it. Probably availability of vaccine.
Hmm.
So they're going to do it as well.
So are you guys going to visit the office?
So in Hyderabad, they said some medical cover. That
Hmm.
is the name of the hospital.
Medicover, yeah, Medicover, I think.
Medicover,
Yeah.
Medicover.
It's
So
near that
yeah,
secretariat, Kiran. Like earlier, it was something else, no? Very famous was
this is high
Medicure or
tech
some
city. This is high tech city thing. Maxicure.
Maxicure, Maxicure. But yeah,
I'm
they
not
opened one near
very.
secretariat also. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not very happy about that because Bangalore, it was in office. I mean, you feel more secure. Going into an hospital for a shot, you never know what you'll come back to.
That is risk taking actually. Like you need to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So let's see. So I'm just waiting.
Good, good, good. So Sudhakar is going to be delayed, and I'm not sure about rest of the folks. Okay, maybe we'll get started since we have joined, right?
Yeah,
We
we
will,
should do that.
yeah, we should do it. So I'll tell you my version of this risk taking and all. I personally believe I have a lot of appetite for risk.
Appetite.
Yeah, appetite for risk. Yeah, that is for sure. Because I left my highly secure job at GE. Right, I was on a growth radar, but still I joined a very small organization. Like I jumped from an ocean to a small pond, or I would say a lake, like $140 billion company to a $2 billion company, right? That itself was something a very risk-taking step and all. But if I look back, there are no regrets as such because I didn't learn new things, that is for sure, except for the domain part and all, but mostly on the leadership part and on the soft skills part. I've been sharing those with the organizations that I joined, wherein I started bringing in the transformation. That's a relief, or that's the plus point which I can cherish forever and all. And people value that G tenure and all, and because the way someone is groomed it is not comparable. Like it's not that easy, right? So that's one part of the risk taking. And in addition to that, even on the personal side, right, at times I go on bike, okay, without carrying my wallet, and I just travel say 100 kilometers or 150 kilometers.
Wow.
I don't care, like, because normally if you are going on a long distance ride, people are scared, like whether if you get a flat tire or no, whatever, right? But I normally go by my gut feel and just take on that journey. And also I believe that risk taking is there already in me. And but in some cases when it comes to family and all, I'm kind of restricted there. I cannot take risk. Okay, so this is something that came to my mind when I heard about the topic, and I thought I'll share with this forum. Okay, and maybe over to you guys, whoever wants to go next.
Yeah, I can share. Again, Naveen and I come from the same organization, or at least we were in GE. And one biggest thing that I learned there is the same. Risk taking is something that I learned and I practice till date. And the way I practice it is, I've been very fortunate to be selected in a leadership program while back in GE. And you get thrown into a new team, a new challenge every 6 months. You just don't know head and tail of it, but you're expected to go, understand, make networks, solve problems, and come out. Solve, not just give an analysis. So you actually solve problems. So that really made a huge mental shift. And from then onwards, if I look at my journey, I did so many technologies without knowing them upfront. Like I went into it, jumped into the fire, understood, picked up stuff, and delivered. So today, that is exactly what keeps me going. Like if I look back, that risk-taking ability led me from, let's say, a CRM domain to an ERP domain to a data and analytics, now to a privacy. Just because I was working with GE Healthcare and some regulatory knowledge, I took a huge leap of faith assumption, and I joined Cognizant and I drove a privacy program for them, GDPR privacy program. And now I'm leading the entire IT for the CIO as a chief of staff. So the huge budget that I'm managing, I've never been a finance guy, right? I'm just a typical IT guy who tries to learn. So I think that has become part and parcel, of the professional life. 100% or maybe you're 200% risk taking. Absolutely, yes. Coming to personal life, I think there are similarities again with what Naveen said, right? I would definitely take a balanced approach, or calculated risk is what you can say, right? So I've always believed in knowing and doing things and I've not, even if I plan a trip, I don't plan I just don't pick up my keys and go. There is some amount of planning. So basically I am risk averse in the personal front of it, but I'm highly risk pro with the professional side of it. So two sides of me.
Great. Lot of similar. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Can you guys still hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Maybe who is going next?
I think I can go next. So I think Nitesh joined. Wow.
Yes. You called me, no? You called me, so I have come.
So Rohit wasn't speaking unless you joined.
No, I thought it is
My God.
Sudhakar before
you.
he switched on the video. I thought it was NV Sudhakar. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, so in the morning, I was thinking about what risk taking is. So according to me, thinking of doing something is a risk taking, because suppose like coming to this forum and speaking is a risk taking, because I may sound something, I may not sound very well, I may sound stupid, or I may sound a very intellectual person. So those kind of like getting taking a thing like making a decision that yes, I will be doing that is a very big risk, like which I would say the recent risk that I took was organizing this conference for the students. So I decided to organize that in the last, like plan started in last month, then and like in the last week I finally organized that. Like it was completely like at the like till the conference started, it was that we will not be able to do that. But when the conference started, like there was 100 people waiting for our conference to start. Like 100 students were there to listen to the speakers. And on the other hand, 24 hours uh, like before that conference started, me and my colleague Atul sir was blank, because we were not certain of the host, we were not certain of the participant will be having, we were not certain of the tool, because the tool that will be used, that we wanted to use go to meetings, was very uncertain, because we have never used that tool for such a big conference. So that was a really big thing. But now when we did that, like I was so happy. Like we got this appreciation from all. Like I was literally like listening to the song Shabashiya, like the from the Mission Mangal movie. So yeah, that is the latest risk that I've taken. Apart from that, I am not a person who takes risk, or I can say I am a person who takes calculated risk. Like like in terms of my family and of the things. Majorly when saying about the family, like because like I'm a person who did not work for I think 1 year, and completely took a risk of not working, and not like basically not working what is coming the way. Like I wanted to do something related to this teaching and everything. I left the thing. Like currently also, like I think Sudhakar, like before you guys joined, Sudhakar was saying me to teach on various platforms. So I'm not teaching on various platforms because I am taking a risk, because I want that yes, the things that I am doing, suppose maybe and doing something else. So I like that. So I want to do that. I may go like just I have some offers of teaching. I may go there, earn the living, but I'm taking a risk of not going there and having my peace of mind. So that is about me.
Great. Thanks, Rohit. Who is going next? Shika or Nitesh? We just
I can go
started off.
next.
Yeah. Go ahead, Shika.
So, yep, as far as I am concerned, I actually don't like to take risks because you never know, right? What kind of consequences you may face. It's good to have a very, stable life, not easygoing, but stable. Especially in the pandemic situation, I have now restricted myself from exploring a lot of things because you never know how it can impact the family, how it can impact your own mental health and stuff like that. But as far as and family, loved ones, you want to be very sure, right? That somebody is, say for example, picking up a hospital for some treatment. You go to the best of the best names because you need the best of the best treatment. Though, five people may come across to me and say, even this mediocre hospital is very good, it has a very good reputation, or this school or this college, but you still want the best of the best for anybody. You don't want to take that risk because brands have a certain value that they offer. On the professional front, yes, just like Naveen, I've worked with the largest of organizations and the smallest of product companies and IT services. For me, it's like this: just take a plunge, Shikha. We'll see what will happen, right? And that's what I tell a lot of people who I mentor as an HR, saying that no organization is 100% perfect. There is the good, the bad, and the ugly with every company, no matter how big or how small it is. The key is not to jump every 2 years or every 1.5 years and look for a change. The key is to at least spend 2, 3, 4 years, give the best of you to the organization, make your mark, leave a name behind, and then move on, right? The technique is to adjust like water. What happens with water? Any shape, any size, any form, it just flows, right? Whether it flows from the mountain or from the river or from the ocean or from a waterfall, just be like water, just adjust. So yeah, professional life, I keep doing whatever I want because it affects only me. But personal life, yes, I am calculative. It's about my loved ones. So yeah, yeah, that would be me.
Sure, Shika. I think Nitesh, over to you.
Hello all. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
perfect.
Yes, yes, yes. My apologies for being non-punctual. So, um, okay. So for me, I think what Shikha told, I feel the same. For personal life, this pandemic have changed the definition of risk. Initially, for me, like I can do anything for them, for my personal relationship. But now these days, I have to think that what I am doing will affect my family or not. So those risk taking definitions have changed. But for me, risk taking is like evolution. It's like some certain people go out of the way, they take some risk of failure, risk of losing themselves, but they came out victorious, and that's how this evolution started. Um, for personal life, same. During this pandemic, I have seen some of the people going out of the way to save their loved ones, but that's again a very different definition of risk. They were ready to, they lost their loved ones. Like I know some of my family members who lost their loved ones, and we cannot do anything because we have to keep ourselves safe. So there, this definition completely changes. You are being mediocre, you are being very pushy to save yourself rather than them. So that's how this risk, now I think risk taking also evolved with time. So we are thinking more about ourselves rather than others.
Yep.
That's it.
Good. So far we have been talking about our own lives and our own careers, personal and professional side, right? So now let us switch the topic and talk about any role models, okay, that you see in the outside world, who you think are the huge risk takers and they have been successful by taking that leap of faith assumption or taking that risk. So anyone that comes to your mind, and probably you can share that experience. Because initially, say for example, if someone is getting into an entrepreneurial journey, though they had a decent paying job, and you know that person, saying that okay, but you felt initially saying that, oh, I think he's taking a huge risk right now, he's having a decent job and everything. That's an example to quote. Or somebody who is venturing into a different domain altogether, maybe working in IT and switching to healthcare or switching to real estate business or anything of that sort.
Yeah,
So
I would like to talk about when I have various people in my network, Naveen,
Yeah.
especially women, right,
Yeah.
who've done a good 14, 15, 16 years, even 18 years in corporates, right, and then have started on their own. Now, there
Hmm.
is, there, I may not want to name the person, but I can tell you
Yeah.
she's been a mass comm, media, journalism personality, blah blah blah, and she's done a lot. But 1.5 years back, she left everything and she was in the industry for 17, 18 years. She said, enough. I mean, I cannot confine myself just to a job. I want to do something on my own. So she has established her own brand PR agency and she does road shows, she does talk shows, and she does, I mean, she has a lot of clients and she's been doing well, and she started this whole thing in pandemic. I said, I mean, people like you who are absolutely nonsensical, what made you leave a stable job? I think she was with CNN IBN, if I remember correctly. It's a big name, right? Why would you leave CNN IBN and start something on your own? Said, you know, in an office environment you have too many constraints, you have too many hierarchies, you have too many reporting relationships, you don't have the freedom, the creative freedom to do what you want. So she did that, and she started on her own, and I think it's been 1.5 years, and she's doing well. I think it is that ability, maybe it is that passion that you want to do something on your own, and maybe she did some homework while she was in her job, but then she's doing well as to what kind of clients, what kind of work. And what she did was, to start the company, she pulled a lot of people from campus, these fresh MBA graduates, to do some creatives, to do some PR ads, blah, blah, blah. It was easy, right? These folks are available, they're creative, they have the hunger to learn, they have the enthusiasm to perform. And there she is, and she's doing well, she's doing extremely well. So yeah, but people don't take that kind of risk in pandemic, especially because every business has taken a hit.
Yeah, I have actually two examples, right? Very interesting ones. One, again, um just respecting the privacy, of the person. One is a doctor, or was a doctor. I think most of us might even know if people are following on Facebook. I personally knew this person because we were consulting for small things in Bangalore. Very well established business and very well respected, a big personal setup, and this person one day quit. She just simply quit working because somewhere this person felt that no, this is not what I am supposed to do. I probably have a different purpose in my life, and completely stopped, sold that whole setup for a very throwaway price, and has gone into spiritual teaching today, right? And like from a very very high earning job, and this person wrote that it was few lakhs per month, was the earning, but from that, just keep it aside and go into a thing where there is like no income. You're not charging anybody, you're just trying to do something better for the society. I was really baffled. I mean, you need so much of mental strength to do that. And a second example that again, and incidentally, this is also, and this is my spiritual guru that I currently follow. So he's similar journey, right? I mean, he was in corporate life, was by working in a bank, in SBH, Hyderabad for about 45, 47 years of his age. Till then he worked, and then he quit. He took voluntary retirement. It's as simple as that. I mean, his son was still catching up. He just quit. He simply said, you know what, this is not what I'm destined to do. I mean, he had a spiritual upbringing, which is a different thing. But then he quit. He took a voluntary, and then today there are like thousands and thousands of followers who follow this person. Again, the same thing, right? He doesn't charge anybody. He's not now those commercial people, but he just works tirelessly for the benefit of the society. He does so much of charity, guides people, and a lot of those things. I think that for me, put a lot of faith in one thing, that we can survive without really having a lot of money or backup, if we have the fire in ourselves. I think that's a great lesson that I personally learned seeing these people, because constantly I think the reason we get into so much of risk aversion is because, okay, what happens next? What if I don't have this avenue of money flowing in, right? I think that's the biggest factor that plays in a job switch, that plays in a location switch, or any other thing. So yeah, these are two great examples that are influencing me as we speak.
Wonderful, mind-blowing example so far.
Kiran, what is the name of that person? The last you mentioned. You can share.
Yeah. Sachit. His name is Sachit Moksha. I mean, he's in my Facebook. And he does a lot of dhyans and then meditation exercises. He does discourses, a lot of those things for a large group of people. Internationally also people follow him, and absolutely doesn't charge a penny. I mean, he doesn't even let people give him anything. Whatever he has, through that he just does that. Very inspirational.
great, like great to hear that, Kiran. Like very rare to see such a person who doesn't want anything and is doing that by his own only.
True.
Yeah, so I know one person, like
So
she
Rohit,
was
don't tell
my
my name, no.
huh?
Don't tell my name.
So Nitesh is back. So yeah, I was
Don't tell
telling
my
about
name.
one
I
of
was
my
thinking
friends,
just.
like uh, her name is Neha. So like she, like when I was doing my masters, she was my classmate in the first year, and like she, like I would say, according to me, she really took a very big risk. Like her father was working in NDTV. He met with an accident. He was paralyzed. He was lying in the bed. His mother, her mother got some disease or something, due to which she was also lying on the bed for complete 2 years. At like this all happened when we were in the second semester of our masters. uh, she wanted to become a income tax officer. She enrolled herself into MSc. Then after 1 year, she quit MSc. Like she, like since she was living near the campus only, so the second year she would come to the library to read. We all were doing sitting there, like we were all there looking at her. She didn't attend the master's class. She was doing it. She was taking care of the of her little brother. She was taking care of her mother, father. And at the end of second year, like when we didn't had a job, after 6 months of our passing, we got a news that she has passed the income tax officer job. Currently, she is the GST inspector in Mumbai. Currently, her posting is in Mumbai. So, like when this all like initially, I didn't know the situation. We were all into that. Yes, Neha is something. That Neha ne galat kiya ya wo, like there were everything going on. But when we got to know that yes, this is how Neha struggled, and then she is there, and like I'm like I'm literally like I was taken aback when I listened to the story. But when I saw that yes, she came back, so yes, that is a big risk, like I would like to mention. And in my life, there are two, like I would say, two people who are very big risk takers. First is my mother, because she invested on me. She has given a trust on me, like for years when I was not doing anything. And still also, like when I am not after money, I'm more after peace of mind. She's taking a risk and standing by me. Apart from that is my boss, who without thinking of anything gives me task. Like he says that I say him that I want to do this. He say okay, go there and do the task. Like, he's literally taking a risk, and he's like that person. Like I was a fresher when I joined the company. Within 15 years, 15 days of my joining, I was leading a team of 4 people who were his relatives and who was senior to me. Like there was a person who was 6 years senior to me. I was I was a team lead of that person. I had one colleague who was 2 years senior to me. I was leading that person. After 6 months, like I was literally leading that like team. We got incremented. Like I got a increment of 60%. Like that was my thing. So I am a risk taker for me as well. And today, within 1.5 years of my joining, I am the director of the company. I am host or director of the company. So my boss is a very big risk taker, I would say. Yeah, done from my side.
Wonderful, Rohit. Yep. Nitish.
Yes. Um, I am born and brought up by all the risk takers. Like my mother, she raised me as a single parent, and I have 2 sisters. So all the stories, like my mother have to struggle every time there's a risk to do something different on me and my sisters. Then when it comes to my sisters, um, one is in Mumbai, almost double the age, almost 10 years older to me, still taking risk on the production media jobs. And then when it comes to my elder sister, she supposed to go to Japan and she reached Jaipur. It is like that. She was a HR hiring manager there with some Mizo Bank company in Mumbai, and then suddenly she got married. She thought that okay, because there was no pressure to get married from our end. Somehow she decided okay, because we never see a proper normal life with a father or a mother, so she wanted to face that. Instead of going Japan, she reached Jaipur. Still, now she is taking risk, having a company in her name, running beautifully. So this is from the personal side. From the professional side, when you say any risk taker, I can see only Naveen as of now. Nothing. I don't know about him more into it, but I know there's some sort of risk, and he is enjoying it, taking calculatively. So that's it. I really wanted to know your story someday.
My story.
Yes, is it a really is it really a risk, or is it really fun for you? Because you laugh a lot.
Uh, since Nitesh took Naveen's name, I would say yes, he's a very big risk taker because he gave me a chance to come on the podcast 3 times, and there could not be a bigger risk than that.
Super.
On a serious note, even I would agree with that. Not because he gave me a chance to come on podcast. I'm sure I did justice, Naveen. But
Absolutely.
Naveen and I were strangers. We connected through LinkedIn, and I still remember that Sunday afternoon, Naveen. And it was the first time we were ever speaking, Nitesh, and we went on for like 30, 40 minutes. And then he said, blah, 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 TGV. And I said, yes, okay. So giving a chance to a stranger like me, who he has never met in his life, we are speaking for the first time, and maybe trusting in me that I will deliver whatever value I have to deliver to TGV. That's a big risk. It could have been the other way as well.
Yeah,
True.
definitely.
See, there are two questions, Naveen. If you allow me, I will ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
See, first question is how you find people. See, definitely we'll come and across different sorts of people, but how you magnetize them, how you attract them. First question. Second is what is your strength? I know your real age. Somehow I got to connect with your daughter. I wanted to know your real age, so I connected with your daughter in Instagram.
Can
Then
I
you
answer the first one on Naveen's behalf, and then we'll
Yeah,
move
please.
to
yes,
Naveen?
sure. And then don't forget the second question. I am really interested.
Number one, I think he's one person, as far as I have known him, who loves to network with people. People from different professions, genres, walks of life, countries, continents, blah, blah, blah. So he looks for talent, or he attracts talent. Secondly, the moment he does that, the talent itself gets attracted to him by the work he does, by the stuff he's doing, by his charismatic personality, by all that
Super.
he has to bring to the
Yes.
table. So he himself is a magnet. So now you can hear from him.
See, my logic is simple. Like I value the work that other person does, and I believe that there is always something to learn from others. And of late, what happened in the last, I would say, 20 years or so, because I used to be an introvert during my school. Like I was the shortest person in the class and all, and I didn't expect that I would grow to up to this 5'6",
Super.
which I'm standing at this time. But it all happened from my engineering days because until +2 I was an introvert completely. But
You got
uh,
ragged badly.
I got ragged badly. I think that might be one of the reasons why I started talking to people, and I ragged my juniors like anything.
Oh
I,
my
I,
God.
I ragged them left, right, center, and even though I was in final year, I used to rag first year people. Okay, so you can imagine final year is something people take it very seriously, and all. Of course, I was very good at studies also, but since then I realized like the value of people and all. And whenever I find someone who has a talent and who I think can add value, or whom I see there is a potential for collaboration, I give an option, and later on again I don't compel them. Like it's up to them, right? We have to respect their privacy, whether they are want to do it or not. but many a times what happens is they also get attracted, because I normally work on things which are very big, very, very big. Like even right now I have a vision, right? The TCF, Shika, you know, the TCF. And one thing has happened today,
TCF
like
full form? I
the
really
Career
don't know.
Factory. The
Okay.
Career Factory, the product which we are planning to build.
Okay.
I was part of those conversations and all. Right now, it is in a pause mode for a brief period of time. But Shika, one development, what has happened? Of course, I'm going off the track. But today we had a connect with a few students from a rural part of Andhra Pradesh. Even Kiran joined that conversation. Kiran, myself, Sudhakar, and Janaki. Janaki happens to be one of the TGV speakers also. Like she is supposed to join today's meeting. Of course, I've been inviting for the last session. She's not joining. But we had 1 hour, 5 minutes of conversation, and I put it on YouTube. It came out really, really well. Like if you remember, we thought of connecting to people from rural, right? And that happened organically.
But all of a sudden, those Career Factory meetings stopped, and I
Yeah.
don't know what happened.
The only thing is, right now there is a lull on the development side, and it is progressing, but at a very slow pace than expected. So, however, we are not stopping because our TGV is establishing as a brand, right? So, in the next 2-3 months and all, we'll be in a better shape to launch the product,
So
right?
then,
However, yeah,
so then, Naveen, can we not? I mean, I know we were doing weekly meetings, and those conversations were very interesting. Some
you're right.
6, 7, 8 of us. Can we not do one fortnightly at least?
Yeah,
So
we'll
that
have to.
all of us are on the same page, and we also can contribute.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
I'll work on that. I'll work on that and I'll come back. And today, what happened is we have done this first mentor-mentee session. Of course, there were multiple mentors and multiple mentees and all. It went well, and you know the lead for that. It happened because of a news that was published in a Telugu newspaper last Wednesday, and it happened organically. That's the good thing or the best part that has happened in the last 1 week, and also I'm super happy about it. Things are moving because as you are asking me, Nitesh, I believe in big things and I do it with my heart and soul. If I am into it, I'll give my 100%, blood, sweat, whatever it is. I dream about it, and I always think about some good ideas, innovative ideas. How can I do it better? So that always the tab is running, right? That keeps me moving. And in case if somebody likes that vision, they join, right? That's how things are working, and there is no other thing. It's all about being passionate and being serious about your passion. And coming to my age, I'm 40 at least. Okay.
Oh, ho. Okay, I got the number. I'm so happy.
Nitesh, you could have directly asked, why did you go through his daughter and like did that much of work?
Rohit,
You could
I
have
never
directly
thought
asked him.
See, guys.
I never thought he had a daughter. First of all, I never thought I thought he is 35.
I'll tell you one thing. Normally, the way I calculate people's age, right? I look at their graduation year, and if they have graduated in 2003, for example, by that time, engineering, let's assume I graduated in 2000. By 21, you will graduate, right? 21, 22, in the worst case, or 23. Plus, you add how many years of work experience?
I was 24. What?
That's what, plus 2 or 3, right? You can
Yes,
get
okay,
a
yes. Okay.
approximate number and all, right? Yeah. Okay. Again,
But
coming
you
back
had
to the
asked-
mainstream. Yeah,
But
go
you
ahead.
had asked him what is his strength, correct? Or you had asked him
Strength.
what is his
That's
age?
what my reason for the age is strength. How at the age of 48 you can be that much?
I'm
I
not
can never
48,
imagine.
dude. 40. Not 48.
Okay. If you can cut it, please cut this. Okay,
Whether
I
he
thought
is
48.
42, 52, or 62, he said one word in this entire conversation. Passion is something that drives you.
Yeah.
Age is just a number. Over.
Correct.
That's it. Yeah,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Perfect. I'll actually add one additional one. I know it's a slightly off track, but why I think Naveen, he is able to connect to so many people or do things like TGV or TED circles or whatever. His ability to take people along with him. I think that's a phenomenal aspect. It's not just, okay, I have a TGV brand. I need some interviews. I speak to this person and forget about it, right? It's not that. He is maintaining those relationships. He is taking people along trying to take and give help wherever possible and maintain that relationship. I think that's something that not everybody does. And as a human being, I know him for last few years, a fantastic guy, always ready to help. I think these two attributes is what making him stand out from the crowd, that I would definitely say.
Yes, that's what I also feel.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Super
Thank you
right.
for all the
No,
positive statements. I think,
I
yeah.
feel
Go
that
ahead.
all the points for risk taking is being done picked by your name. Super.
No, dude, there is a lot. Okay, because we don't want to be mediocre, right? Somebody, if I believe one thing, probably we are born for a reason, and we have to establish that legacy for ourselves, right?
Mm.
And especially during this uncertain situations and all, you never know what is going to happen to whom at what time and all, right? So it's all about, again, as Kiran has rightly mentioned, I want people okay to be part of this and all, because many a times I've seen many of my friends, right, they want to do something but they don't know how to do it, right? And somebody is good, for example, we are running this Telugu podcast and all. One of my friends, he has been auditioned at a radio station, but since it is it is got to do with working in the night shifts and all, right, he didn't opt for it. And now we started a Telugu podcast, and of course it was running for the last 9 months and all on our brain. We didn't launch it officially we launched on the 17th May, along as a first anniversary gift to all our listeners and all, right? So he's now part of our team, like he's helping us since he has already that experience and is good at understanding the customer, the audience pulse and all, right? So likewise, if you find someone, let us bounce it off with them. Like in case if they are interested, they will join. If they are not interested, let's not push them, because even if you ask them to join forcibly, we are not going to get any results. And moreover, here it's only about the time commitment, right? It is about time commitment, and if, by looking at our seriousness, others will also get serious. That's what I have seen.
True.
Because if you are not serious, you are calling everybody and you are talking something pointless and you don't have any direction, why would people come, right? Because I have a vision, like I have a vision, like TGV has to be a brand, TCF should be the product which will culminate all of my experience and all, and I'm trying to connect the dots. And some of you know, right, whoever is part of the TGVs as a speaker and all, they'll also be future board members or probably future panelists on the TCF. That's the vision which I have and all, and it's going to immensely benefit the society at large, right? Because if you look at me, like I come from a tier 2, tier 3 town, from a lower middle class family with not so much of guidance, and I'm here today. Imagine if I come across a person who is in my shoes at this moment, definitely I'm going to tell them so many tips and all, right? And which means I can accelerate them 3 times or 4 times of what I am today, right? So that is there always. And this kind of giving, especially this mentorship and helping people, it's been there since the time I was studying my during my engineering days. I used to help my juniors, so likewise it's been there. So that's why, like, I'm able to mentor people and all, and they are having a lot of positive results also. Okay, cool. So I think we have slightly deviated from the topic. Now I have another question to you all. We spoke about risk taking where somebody is successful, and let us talk about the stories where somebody took a risk, but unfortunately that did not do go well as per the plan. And why do you think that has failed for them? Anything?
Okay, that is something we really need to think, because people remember the success, not the failure. Okay.
But in my opinion, like in case if we are able to learn from failure stories and all, we will be more prepared, right? Because normally I run transformation sessions within, as part of my day job in my organizations and all. And every session I begin, I ask 2 questions. What are the companies that you admire the most? What are the companies that you hate, and why? Because if you are learning something from what you admire the most, you can learn and adopt their best practices. and companies that you hate the most, you will know what not to do. You'll know what to do from the best companies, what not to do from the worst companies. Of course, there is no concept of a company called worst. It's all about how they are delivering something and which is not received positively, and they will have their own reasons and all. But at least if you spend some time there, right, we will be better. And that itself, right, it will trigger a lot of interest in the workshop and all, and they get so excited. And again, I'm not trying to flaunt myself, but majority of my workshops get 100 out of 100 NPS. All, if say 10 members attend, 4 or 5 members take the survey, and all of them give either 9 or 10 in the NPS, net promoter score. So I feel very proud about it, which means I'm able to sell my idea to them, right? So likewise in this topic also, the reason I wanted to ask this question, especially this question will be helpful for someone who might have not done too much of diligence and all, and irrespective of how much appetite that you have, okay, with regard to risk taking, we should always be also caring about the cushion that we are going to have. What happens if things go really bad? See, for example, TGV, I'll tell you my own example. It would have impacted my job, right? But I disclosed it in the office itself, saying that, hey guys, I spoke to my HR. I sent an official confirmation saying that, hey, I'm going to do this. Okay, and this is nothing to do with my office hours and all. Honestly, we never recorded anything during weekdays. All the recordings, all the editing has happened either on weekends or late nights during the weekdays. I burn midnight oil at times and all, right? That is how things have surfaced. Imagine if we have not disclosed, then people will start assuming stories, and maybe there is some monetary benefit. Honestly, there has been no monetary benefit for us, though we have spent, especially I have spent a lot of time in terms of editing, contacting people, interviewing them, performing all these things and all, right? So one thing what we have to, probably what I practiced is, in order to avoid future risks and all, I've been openly communicating about it, right? And right now, like I spoke about in my current organization, which I joined recently, I spoke about my podcast during the interview itself, saying that out of passion, I'm running my podcast, right? And and my manager and my super boss is also added to my contact list. They also get notified of all the posts that I make, right? There is no chance wherein they can screw me up in future. Of course, this is not the first episode. What have you been doing the last 6 months or last 7 months, whatever it is, right?
See, I think one example which all of us know very well, and you know what we can really learn from is Tata Nano.
Yep.
Tata Nano is a very ambitious project done with so much of backing of the Tata Motors, Tata Group. A lot of brains went into it. It's a huge risk they have taken. It failed. Like they really didn't succeed, right? Like nobody really liked it. But at least what was learned out of it is, personally for me, how do you take an idea and convert it into an actionable result? Like Ratan Tata had this vision that I would bring a 1 lakh rupee car. Did he do it at 1 lakh rupee? Probably not. 1 lakh 20, 1 lakh 30, whatever, right? Yeah. But then take that idea, run behind it, run with it, and believe in it, and take it to a fruitful succession. There, if we do this instead of not doing enough planning, not having a lot of passion, just for the sake of it, trying, or in frustration trying it, that is a recipe for disaster. But if you back yourself fully, and if you really put your heart and soul into one thing, and go and see through the end to end of it, sure, you may not be financially successful, but then the amount of learnings that you get, it's a huge launch pad, right? Yep. Now, coming out of the Tata Nano debacle, look at what they have done. I think they are producing the best of the SUVs now. They've picked up Jaguar, and they're using the Jaguar engine. They have put it in a lot of the best of the SUVs, and they are giving, and they're probably going to do the battery car as well. Which is a Tesla competitor, or an Indian Tesla, if you want to say so. So I think that is what is something that I personally, picked up. That's something that I in close quarters that I could, look at. There will be a lot of failures. Friends who probably, prematurely decided after getting married and, being in a decent job that, okay, I need to go to US, I'll do a H1 and go. And then, boom, you go there, somehow you scramble, like you go there is no job, you go alone, you can't get your family out there, that's a disaster. And so those kind of short-sighted things is something that you should probably not do, which I've seen people do. But on the other hand, on the industrial side, I think these are the examples that I personally look up to.
So I think I have two examples. One is me, and another one is my friend Jitendra Giri. Like, but like I would say, like after the graduation, like we were there in the graduation as well. So after the graduation, the coming year he got the admission in his masters and everything. He didn't he didn't understand why to do that. Like MSc Electronics, why he's doing that. He just did that. Like he got the admission. He had he was the only one out of 39 people of his class to get a backlog in the first semester. He got that backlog. Next semester he passed. In the third semester he another got a backlog. In the fourth semester he also got a backlog. And surprisingly, the person like who was also with me only, Manish Tomar, he passed. The person who didn't, who was not like we never thought he will pass, he passed. The Jitendra Giri failed. The reason why Manish passed was that because Manish knew why he wanted to do MSc. Jitendra was doing it for just a sake that yes, I want to do MSc. I don't have anything after BSc. I have to do that. Then what he's doing that since Manish Tomar is doing, I would say, this preparing for armed forces, Jitendra also started preparing for armed forces. He for next 1.5 year, he's after this armed forces. And last year in the December, he got married. Now he's doing this home tuitions. Now after that, he has started, since the home tuitions are not there because the COVID, he has started with the YouTube channel without planning. He's not planning, he's just doing that with the YouTube channel. And now he's sending messages to each of us to get some people subscribe his channel, because either like there's a message that I literally got 2 days back, because after 1000 like subscriber only he will get a money. Like I was like, I didn't know what to explain him, because I explained the same thing to him that it is not easy to get that. If you are passionate about YouTube, do that. Because if not, because do 3 mahine ke baad you will lose the thing and you will not do the works, and your 2-3 months will go into vain. So like he's still not getting that point, and then he's still doing the same thing. So yes, so he's feeling like when you are saying that मेरी जिंदगी ऐसी है and all sorts of things is saying, but like I am fed up of him telling like you need to plan out things. Like he's not planning. Apart, like another example of me, like this is my third job. Like I joined one company after my graduation. I joined one company after my post graduation. Both the companies I left. Like for the first company I left because of some medical issues. That is also because I was not able to handle. Like I didn't know how to be in a corporate, because that was a fresh graduate, not know how to deal people, because I had to travel Gurgaon, then back for to my Delhi. So many things were there. So the reason that I failed in that was that I didn't know how to deal in the corporate, or how work is done, or how your manager is behaving, or like I was not ready to come out of my comfort zone. So that is the reason. Second, after my post graduation, like I didn't know I can say the politics, or how to handle people. So I didn't know how to handle people. So the second job I lost that job. Like so that was a truth. And then now, since I have the experience of both the things, now I know how to handle people. Secondly, I know how to behave in corporate. So now I am doing my job and very happy with that. So yes, so I have learned through those as well. Yeah, done.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll really join with Rohit sometime.
So you know, guys, on the YouTube monetization part, it's not easy. Like
Yes.
you need minimum 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. And earlier, it used to be very rewarding monetization program, but now they have significantly reduced the payouts from Google and all.
Are you earning from it?
No,
Are you getting any benefit?
no,
You
no.
might be
We are
having
not
more
there yet.
subscriber, no?
We are not there yet. We are just 618 subscribers.
What if you
And
reach
that too,
1,000?
last 40 subscribers have happened in the last 3-4 days because of
Okay.
the organic paper post that
Okay.
has happened. So it hasn't reached the real masses yet. I'm optimistic about next 2-3 months and all, because we have some good speakers lined up who have 50,000, 1 lakh Instagram followers and all, because Instagram is where most of the thing is happening, right? So that's where we can channelize. And one other thing is we are planning to include video interviews directly on YouTube rather than this audiogram based.
Okay.
That might also lead to some growth there. And we are not relying anything on inorganic option. I'm completely against it, because if you go inorganic and all, you will not know your true potential. Let's see.
Inorganic in the sense, Naveen?
Paid marketing.
Okay.
Paid market.
Okay. Paid market. Okay.
So are you not thinking of turning these audio podcasts into video podcasts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, what happened is, for the last 30 episodes we recorded, we did it on Zencaster, which has video integrated as well recently. But the tool is in beta mode, and whatever the recordings have happened, the audio video sync is not going well. So there is a lag of 2 to 3 seconds and all. It has disrupted.
Or can you just not do a Zoom interview, like we're doing a Zoom call now?
Yeah,
You,
we
Sudhakar,
started
and
doing
the
that.
speaker.
Yeah, we started doing that. Last week we recorded 2 sessions on StreamYard, and today we recorded one on Zoom. So going forward, we are going to do it either on StreamYard or Zoom.
Mhm.
And one
Yes.
other problem, I would say not a problem, but one other thing is, we don't have the bandwidth to perform this video editing and all. If not, we would have started this Zoom sessions long back. Right? Even now, with the consent of the speaker, we wanted to publish the unabridged version of video on YouTube. It will not undergo editing. Whereas audio, we will do the editing. Right?
Is it tough to edit?
See, I don't know. I have never given a try to edit the video, but I can create some videos using this audio and the slides and all. That is kind of easy.
Okay. I'll share an open source tool. It will be very easy. Just like
one
I
will
think Naveen, you can use OBS Studio. OBS Studio or Cam Studio, both are free. Like, because I myself yesterday downloaded OBS Studio because my boss has told me to make a video. Like, and now I am also going into this video making thing. So I'm also
Okay.
working on that. So OBS Studio is good. Like, you can record the screen and do some basic kind of editing in that. And
See,
yes,
not about
we are
recording.
using StreamYard at my company.
No, not just about recording. It's more about, say, if you have a video file already downloaded from Zoom, can we edit that?
Yes. For me, I can
Yeah, what?
attempt it. No, I mean to say that you do one thing. Let's talk in DM. That is better.
Okay, let's talk. Let's connect. Because or else, if you could volunteer for that also, I would be happy.
Sure. I'll just
Based on your
help
bandwidth, I'm
you
not
initially.
compelling. Yeah, I'm not compelling.
I have so much bandwidth.
Okay, good. I'll tell you guys one best part of podcast editing, right? You will be so attentive when you are editing it, because you don't want to goof up with your audience, right?
Yes.
So we will practice a lot of listening skills out here,
Hmm,
and during that process, you learn what the speaker has told, right? I'll tell you, like, I think I've spoken to Kiran and Shika also in person when I spoke to them individually. More than what audiences are learning, at least Sudhakar and I are getting better and
More
better
than that.
and wiser, right? That itself is
True.
something I feel as a reward at this moment. Of course, bigger and bigger rewards are on its way, for sure. I know. I'm very, very optimistic about it.
But I'm wondering, Naveen, why edit at all? Tell your guest, say for example, this is the topic. The duration of our meeting will be flat, crisp, 20 minutes, right? And based on the topic, you will raise 3-4 very key critical questions.
Yeah.
And the answers have to be around that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the
See
Shikha,
what
I think
happens.
so the video
Let's
file
stop.
once editing, it will normalize it. The space what you are looking for, it may not suit. So once you edit it, it will normalize like a 25 MB or 26 MB with the same thing.
No, one other thing is at times guests will fumble and all, and not everybody might be comfortable to put it as is. But to your point, right? If at all we are looking at only polished speakers and all, then that will work. But we are trying to encourage everyone because we have hosted third year student, fourth year student also, right? So they have their own problems, and if you listen to the actual recording versus what comes as output, they will themselves they'll be wondering, oh, did I speak so fluent and all.
Forget students.
Yeah,
in
I did that. I did that. I did that. I did that.
I have professionals, right, who come for different talk shows, right, and the questions are, pre-shared, the answers are pre-drafted, and you can easily make out you're on a talk show, right, and the way I am talking to all of you, right, there's an eye contact, there's body
Yeah.
language, whilst somebody else with me on the same talk show would be so the eyes are down, so
Yes.
she's reading, the
Hmm.
language will be very different, the intonation, there is no eye contact, there's no connect with the audience.
Yeah.
I mean, you have senior folks who do that. Forget students. Students are still learning, still growing, still experiencing the corporate world. You have
Yeah.
There was one
Absolutely.
leader. There was one leader. Now he left. He's with other organization. So he used to send a mail out saying, "Guys, I need to go give a talk on, let's say, data and analytics. Who wants to volunteer drafting some content for me?" And then he'll just take the content and go read it.
Super,
I
super.
have people who would say, okay, talk show hai, send me the questions. So 5, 6 questions this host will share. You've written down the answers. Now you're on the talk show. Naveen is hosting. We're all talking. We're just talking, It's
Yeah.
it's presence of mind, it's maturity, it's how you respond. And this person, yeah, the pandemic has taught us you don't want news readers, right? It has to be accessible. And if you're
True.
not comfortable talking, don't sign up for it.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
cannot
that's the new
speak your
fad,
mind-
though. Everybody wants to, be visible. There's so many conferences. That's why, mushrooming. Right? Like every nook and corner, there is a conference and people are talking. That's exactly
So
right.
with pandemic, everybody's online.
Yeah.
Whether they know how to
Everybody's
talk or
on.
they don't know how to talk. My only appeal to senior folks is whoever doesn't know how to talk, don't be a part of it and don't sit and read. We can read that content on the internet ourselves, right?
Exactly.
Naveen is asking you for your perspective on this subject, right? Not Google information. He can Google it himself.
Yeah. True.
It's weird. Yeah.
True. So-
I want to just share one, coming
Yeah.
back to the topic, maybe.
Yeah, please go ahead. I was about to reinstate.
Yeah, failure case, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. As of now, how much I can reach my mind, I see a failure what I was badly hit, like this Anna Hazare movement.
Yeah.
Lokpal vanished. It got smashed by anything. I think that particular time I was thinking that the youth is rising and rising like anything. There was a very high linear curve, what we can see in our thoughts, emotions, and suddenly these political things, they drag them badly. They push them to make their own party, and then that I don't know about Anna Hazare now, where he is lying. But that particular moment, I thought, okay, we got a new Gandhi. I don't know what was the failure. I am still wondering what was the point that they smashed. Maybe due to mismanagement of people, definitely some political things. They might have given money or to get disintegrated, but that thing hit me badly. It was very bad. I think I thought that particular moment India was supposed to change, but now again we ran into the same thing. There is no Lokpal. There is no truth in the society. Live yourself, survive yourself, means I think make yourself better, and that's all. Other die, I don't care. I care about myself. I think that particular moment that that expansion was stopped, and we again got compressed to our bad thinking. Like, okay, nothing right prevails here. That's it.
Yeah, I think the one important thing is, again, connecting to risk taking, right? Let's say we want to start a new venture, or we want to make a change in the society by doing something free, something nice. There is a huge capitalist setup existing out there who constantly look around what's happening. That's their biggest strength. And then if something looks threatening, the whole narrative, it comes wherein your effort and your emotion is simply diluted without you even realizing it. There are hundreds and hundreds of cases. It could be, taking away the green corridors and laying out, highways, Delhi NCR region, Gurgaon and all those. It's a great example, right? Yeah, how that thing happened. I mean, the whole highway itself, the course of the highway itself was shifted thing when people believed in something else. So there is always that risk. So I think when we want to venture out and back ourselves with an idea, I think we definitely need to take this lesson and keep our eyes and ears open and be ready to take that fight head on as to you how you coexist in the capitalistic world, society, or how do you make such a huge difference that they cannot affect you. This is true for social causes. This is true for any new business that you want to start, anything. That's the truth out there. So from a risk taking standpoint, I think we have to be ready to take that risk if you want to make a difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good discussion. Anything else from anyone on this topic, on this question?
No, I have a few doubts. Maybe anybody can open it up. I
I
feel
was
this
speaking
risk.
on mute. Sorry. I don't have literally too much to say, but this whole fiasco of Kingfisher and Deccan Airlines, right? What happens when the power goes to the mind, right? You start thinking in the wrong direction, misappropriation, and whatnot. Because I think they started off really well. They were doing very well. They gained their popularity, fame, success. But then at the end of the day, it was all down the drain. I think, I don't know, that's something that stayed in my mind. Not sure what lessons we can take from there. But yes, start small, progress small, and then gradually you make it big. I think that's the way to venture into anything. You start with a big bang. You don't have the necessary, maybe, I don't know, resources or infra or funding and stuff like that, and you collapse. So yeah, that's what
I,
stayed in my mind.
I was actually studying this case,
Hmm.
and there are other examples also
Okay.
in US airlines, especially airlines, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Why, do they have stupid people sitting in planning and strategy? Absolutely no. But they have somewhere down there, into your point, Chika, who has taken a huge leap of faith assumption with very little facts to back them. Like, for example, if Kingfisher was thinking that it will be a low cost airline, it actually started with a big bang, luxurious airline kind of a mode, right? And from there, it wanted to suddenly cater to a segment like Air Deccan has picked up. Even that movie has come, right? Air Deccan has picked up, and these guys couldn't survive. So the only thing that they could do is either buy that Air Deccan or try to do it themselves. They try to pump in a lot of money in this gamble, trying to buy flights and stuff, which really didn't go well with them. They couldn't understand how to run the model. That was a bigger fiasco, because their leadership is all about flamboyance, making it larger than life, that is what they are good at. We take it Kingfisher as a brand, any United Breweries or anything, and the leadership top down, that kind of thing has been coming in. When you have to think from a modest, small user base kind of a thing, I think that the thought process was entirely missing. So their risk taking was, again, connecting to the points that we spoke, was without a lot of planning. They took risk looking at the money power, but not looking at the market conditions. They underestimated the market.
They underestimated, exactly.
Which is the movie you're telling?
Money and power could do everything. It doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Which one? What is that, Nitesh?
Yeah, you were telling one movie, no? One movie was.
This is a Tamil movie. It's made upon Air Deccan. Surya
Okay.
has acted on it. It's actually Air Deccan. It's inspired from Air Deccan. It's not fully Air Deccan because Captain, I think Ravi, right? He denied that it is not fully my story.
Okay.
So yeah, so those kind of things do happen. So which is why risk taking goes hand in hand with being knowledgeable, doing a lot of due diligence, and then back yourself upon it. There is always an element of chance. Strategy is always not 100% science. There is always an element of chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah, these are all wonderful inputs, guys. Any closing points or closing thoughts on the overall topic?
I think it's a wonderful topic. I learned a lot, from Shika, from Nitesh and Rohit, and I think the only way we can probably conquer this fear is taking those baby steps and trying to do things a little different, and that is how we probably reduce our fears and increase our risk taking capability. Probably getting to 100% risk free may or may not be, personally, for me. That's where I
Yep.
At the end, I would just be saying that the the biggest risk that you can take is to think to take something, like to do some step, like suppose to do something new. So instead of taking a very big risk, at least take a risk of thinking of doing something. That will reduce your failure percentage by 50%. So that's my
Yep. And like I said a while back, I think starting with a big bang in anything and everything doesn't help. There is that amount of planning, strategy, funding, everything is required. So small steps or baby steps is something that helps. And secondly, yes, with the pandemic, like I said earlier, the ability or the willingness to take risk has reduced with everyone because there are other external factors which are controlling our emotions and our mental health. But having said that, we should continue to take calculated risks. Otherwise, life is boring.
Super.
It has to move on, right?
It is really boring.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's with this whole one room life concept, there's absolutely no social life, nothing. I mean, so much of going out.
Confinement.
Yep. So the only risk I have not taken is the risk of going out and meeting friends. Because Corona has been, killing people actually. It's got that serious. So yeah, according to me, the risk-taking ability of everybody has come down. Everybody wants to play safe because a lot of folks are suffering in pockets.
My ending point will be like when I take risk, I think of myself. When I want to do it for others, I do effortlessly or full-heartedly without thinking of myself. So when I really want to give something to someone, I do 100%. I will not think, I will not take risk, I will do it. So that's how I will summarize it for myself. I don't want to risk it, I just want to do it, whether it is for my family or for the society. Paused. Hello?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I want to say one last thing.
I think Shikha is paused.
No, Kiran is going on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. One last thing I
Somebody's
was is yes, we all probably inherently don't have a lot of risk taking ability or whatever, but today what's running this society, like as we speak, what's running today are those people who are taking huge risk. Frontline workers, doctors, food guys, everybody. Without them we probably will not survive. So I think now is the time to take that heavy risk. Yes, of course, with precautions, which is being prepared, etc. But now is the time to take that bigger risk. Be there for your people. Be there for your society. That's probably what I
I think we will. I think risk is also not the right word. They are doing on. It's like committing suicide. They know they cannot survive it. Somehow, someday they will fall. They will fall ill. So don't know what is going on in their mind, but they are really soldiers. They are contributing.
Okay.
Agreed.
Great.
Good, guys. So I think I have spoken a lot today. Yeah, overall, I think there should be some risk appetite, or else we will not be able to move forward. And moreover, one thing what I would like to share with all of you is, if you look back, maybe after 40 years or 50 years in life, in case if we live up to that extent, we should have some memories to cherish. Saying that, okay, because I've done a lot of risk-taking adventures and all. I have gone on a bike trip, okay, in a forest, wherein I started at 12 p.m., 12 a.m. midnight from Karimnagar to Etur Nagaram, and also those are some heavily dense forests with a lot of wild animals. And at that point in time, we had these Maoists and terrorists also, right? And now, if I look back, oh my God, how did I do that? That was very risk-taking, and that too, we went triples on a single bike, roaming at kilometers. And in case if the bike breaks down there, we are gone that night. but today it remained as a sweet memory, right? So risks are important, but how calculated and how prepared you are, and it should not have any adverse impact on our family. That's what I would say. Okay, so I think we are done with the topic, guys, and thank you for joining. And I hope to see you all in the next month session also. And one request before I wind up the session today. At TGV, we are hiring interns. Okay, in case if you find somebody who is really talented and all, we are not going to pay them any money. We are not committing on that. However, they'll get real-time work experience working with me and Sudhakar and also other experts across the industry. And right now, we have onboarded one intern. He's actually a TCS employee, and he's doing really well. Like since the time he joined, we got about 60 followers more on Instagram and all, and he's sharing some good strategy which we are implementing. And also, likewise, if you know of anybody who is pursuing their third year, final year engineering or MBA and all, however, we are going to give a work experience certificate from TerraEdge Digital, TED, okay, which is a registered company with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and all, right? So,
So
let
like,
Okay.
what do you like? What you are looking for in a
see,
person?
they should
Suppose
help us
if I
in
have to
promoting the podcast. In case if they wanted to create some
okay,
visually appealing content, repurposing what we have like 130. I mean, including those episodes which we haven't launched, we have an inventory of about, I mean, the overall repository of about 140 episodes and all, right? How can we repurpose this? Maybe creating a digital course or whatever. And first of all, taking this subscriber base from 618 on YouTube to 1,000. That will be their primary challenge. Likewise, it is something very exciting which they can flaunt in future, saying that, hey, when I joined, this was about 618 subscribers, but after that I did this, and now they are at 1,200 or 1,500, whatever it is.
Like some people will say, I know Naveen. Oh my God. Like that.
I was on Naveen. Oh my God.
Guys, but
No, really.
I'll
I am really proud that I know Naveen.
I'll tell you one thing. There will be a day where each one of our speakers says that
We don't know
I
because
spoke on TGV. Okay, remember that. Mark it.
yeah, super. I wish.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Naveen.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you guys. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Everybody.
Take care.
Bye.